performer of spiritual duties. Now that word spiritual has so much confusion now. You're moving from spiritual into holy, which is an even more dignified respect toward other creatures, beings, because you're supposed to know something. And your life is really your death, and your death is really your life, but you're alive wherever you are. You're not in the contemplation of suicide as many are. You're here for safety and balance for others, basically. Especially now. Your planet is going through so much turmoil and so much consciousness revulsion. If you could really see above you what is coming, if you do nothing, you'd be nauseous for days in the confusion of don't know how to change it. You center your being, or you keep center. Practice left nostril, right nostril, and the mouth exhale, peace. That has some of the words sound hard because they're your words. Where there's this one being that is coming. And his name is Justice. And he knows what it is. Doesn't ask questions, doesn't entertain questions. Performs. Everyone's beginning to feel the presence of that one. Because everyone is starting a little bit to straighten the act up. It's an invisible one that can become visible. Comes with a multitude, actually. A multitude that actually assists him in not performing too much justice. The ones that call for mercy, they come along. And in a manner they restrain that one. And those are the prayers of the innocents that are praying for others that brings that forth. That's how that works. Nobody on your planet could stand the truth of justice. No one. No one. That's why mercy is so much required. You have to go beyond the idea of thought or even thinking to be in a place to understand no thinking and how to accomplish that. It's basically witnessing without judgment. So the heady thing here, this one, in a manner, it's teaching the physical brain where the hearing comes from, and it's not in the ears as you think. It's above, and it's teaching the discernment of thought. There's a pyramid above the head that you beings are. You have seen it replicated in the tarot card, the Fool. And that's what you're going to have to understand. Your point of reference should be. So, In the manner we place cotton there to absorb other processes that are trying to influence for now. Because the thinking is here, pyramidal. You're going to have to get to that point. It's actually the ninth chakra, the point of the pyramid above the head. And then the descension happens. And the pyramid comes down here. The apex comes down here, and then an eye becomes here, along with the feather from the index finger that projects the energy to the back of the skull, where your holographic images come forth so you can think you're seeing something exterior of yourself from the invisible world. Your holographic machines, actually, coming out of that influence. You bounce signals off your brain into the skull. The imprints of the stars are there so you don't forget all of that. Because the elements you came from could perceive the stars from others. Up. And the element that you're not really concerned or knowledgeable about yet, but you will be, the fifth one, is wood. It produces leaves, trees, so oxygen can be put forth. It's a pump, as you are a pump. I know. Proper music is so important for the soul, the heart, and the mind. Not your brain, the mind. That is healing medicine, because it changes the auric fields. It adjusts your color spectrums so your thought processes can understand. You actually have a little being in your head that works the computer chips of your brain. You call them synapses. And that being in there now is trying to organize the synapses in a manner so it was what is termed perfection of the form within. You've seen how computers have changed consciousness, ability to communicate more rapidly over great distances. Instantaneous communication. That's what you have here, the brain. It's a computer. That's what telepathy is. It has been used to influence instead of incognate. But by that I mean recognize, knowledgeable, understanding. For the protection of the species. Now you have what is termed your extraterrestrials, what they got caught into the confusion of the computer. And they bred the soul out of the body. You're the remnants that have souls, which are important understanding in the continuity of consciousness everywhere. Doesn't matter where your where is or when your when is. The soul is constant. Having bred the soul out of the body, they're looking for, how do you say, redemption, yeah, is your word, or pleading for the ability to bring it back in, but they need permission. You're involved in that concept now too.
But that's not all you teach.
But remember, it's your soul. Be cautious who you share it with, because there is a sharing that's involved here. There's a sharing. And remember that you're in a meditation from beyond, in your dragon force. And remember that your baby dragons, reptilian energies, cognating now, about ready to graduate, actually. That's the process. And in the graduation, you're going to learn how to stabilize the currents of the earth so there's not complete destruction. And stabilize the frequency of those around you also. Because unless you've seen total confusion, you have no idea what's coming. It's beyond panic.
Can you back up a minute?
And you're going to have to learn how to walk within it peacefully. Because it'll be that is what stabilizes the space. Because when the great shaking occurs, you're going to see entities that are not physical. You're already starting. They too will be in discomfort. So the concept of peace is a necessity to understand. That's why we say peace to all beings. Because in effect, that's a warning from justice. So there's calmness and mercy. Because peace to all beings' name is justice. He commands it. We haven't said that before, once. You're involved in understandings that were taught millennia ago, but were forgotten, perverted, and used to control others for the glorification of ego. And now the unity of these consciousnesses are coming together for the perfection of the species. Because mankind himself, the human form, was developed perfectly. And is meant to be perfect. And in the knowledge of all things, it is. And that's why this place is what you term special place. For perfection can be guaranteed here if you perform. Health to the body, mind, and spirit. Perfection in your accomplishments. Acknowledge your accomplishments in the self. You don't need acknowledgement from others. That could create some confusion. It's the inner acknowledgement that brings the strength of the form and the perfection of consciousness. Why? Because you did it. That's why. You did it. No one else. You did it. Your spine knows it. And you have the thrill, the ecstasy of what is termed success. Like, what is it? Frosting on the cake. So it's an inner food that you should always reflect upon in the performance of yourself. Because it's for you. Others will see, they'll know, but you accomplished. That's the point. When that pyramid above the head comes, it drops. Because you already have one here, that's going to drop. And then it drops. And then you pick up what is termed the golden frequency, which has the pi ratio in it. And you'll understand that in the circumference of what you call the spiral of thought. Perfection in your thinking. Health to all ones. Health to you. I'm talking to this thymus now.
I'm sorry?
Talking to the thymus.
Oh.
Allow. This has an influence on your eyes also. Comes up. Soon, we won't have to use so many words. Soon, you'll be hearing the vibration of your own bones talking to you, thanking you for the perfection of yourself and the accomplishments of yourself. You need to learn to recognize it, because that's not a thought from another. We are through.
Question? Hello?
Yes,
Who's talking? Simon?
Gabriel.
Gabriel through the whole thing? During the whole time?
The whole session?
We didn't quite hear that one.
Oh, who? Was Gabriel talking the whole session?
There was, now here, was the entity you call peace all beings was referring to most of this conversation.
Okay. With Gabriel.
Gabriel, who stands as you call guardian.
And the guardian. Okay.
He's the lead angel of death. When you start talking with justice, death can be right around the corner. And that's why mercy is required. And the mercy comes from Gabriel, for he has the list of the names in the book. Those are intricacies, necessities for who you're talking to. You understand?
Yes, yes. One more question. How long before Arthur can get the cotton out of his ears?
How long before what?
Arthur can get the cotton out of his head. It's uncomfortable for
We
him.
have this issue with the form yet in the heart chakra. So there are three forms, shapes. Sphere, cubic, and pyramidal. The sphere rolls easily. The cube can be rolled in a straight line. The pyramid, very difficult to roll in a straight line. We need to get them incorporated in a junction of one unit. And that's what we're doing now. This pyramid here is coming down as we can get this process, which comes from this process, clear. This process in your world is where you think, really. Or you think.
In your heart?
Coming out. But we have to clear the thinking thing.
Okay.
Or the repository of thought, let's put it that way. The The ones that you have sitting in here
Uh-huh.
that want to judge everything everybody else is doing has to move,
Out.
has to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yet it is the impinging, and with this one, Arthur, we're teaching him and showing him demonic influences. So knowledge can assist in the defeat of that, or the, how you say, shutting off of it. Once we get that accomplished, and all of this is going to go away. There's other influences going on. The body is being taught, his consciousness is being taught, and what is termed the soul forces are being taught. For you have more than one soul force yet to understand. Remember, you have 5 fingers on each hand and 5 toes on each foot. They're all related. So it's a...
So many questions.
It's almost
I
like
can't hear them.
a release of thoughts of growing up things, a new form. All that other stuff is gone, it's past. Yet there's remnants that are the entities that don't want you to succeed, that are invisible, you can't see to you, try to push you to remember you. To remember and learning to shut it off. It's what this cloudy thing is. Because he's actually shut down his brain computer in a manner so it's not distorting images. Because you're going into another visual experience. So that's what we're doing. How long? You say,